What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Thursday, January 30th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Sojourner Elleby. She is an on-air host and producer based out of New York. And we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into the media industry. And we're going to talk to her and get to know her a little bit outside of her occupation. So without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Sojourner. Good morning, Sojourner. How we doing?
How are you?
I'm doing good. You look absolutely lovely today. I
Oh,
just want
thank
to
you
say
so
that.
much. I absolutely tried. I absolutely tried.
Well, look here. You ain't have to try hard. I'm gonna tell you that right
I know
now.
that's
You ain't gotta,
right.
you ain't gotta try hard. I love the hoops. I love everything. And listen, with a name like the Joyner, you are destined to be great. You know what I mean? So, no
Oh, thank
question.
you.
No question.
Yes.
You
Okay,
know,
let me
listen.
just adjust my seating a little bit. I want to be a little higher.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead,
I'm
do your
short,
thing.
so you go
Do
ahead and
your
see
thing.
pillows.
I just want to say thank you for coming on to my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I really do appreciate you allocating the time. And I want to ask you, how is your week going so far?
You know, God is good. And so I'm just going to start there because if I take that off the table, then the world is going to shit. But I will choose to remain optimistic and prayerful and just grateful for the blessings and the abundance that I do have. But yeah, I'm
Mhm.
just trying as best as I can not to pay attention too much to the ways of the world because even with this plane crash last night, it's just there's it's too much. That hits home. As someone that travels often,
Yeah.
as someone who's at the airport often, I'm texting, okay, yeah, we're landing, we're almost there, and then to not make it, that's makes my stomach hurt. But other than that, I personally, I am well. I am well. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to partake in this. So we're all right. We're gonna be all right.
No, I feel that, and obviously we'd be remiss not to mention that that was such a tragic event that happened yesterday with those 64 passengers on that flight. I mean, thinking that you're just about home, you made it through most of the crash, you made not most of the crash, but most of the flight, and then to have a Black Hawk helicopter come in at the very end. And not only that, but you crash into the water, and
Yeah,
now.
on top, right. And that
So
water's freezing. That
Mhm. Right. So yes, definitely my heart pours out prayers to everybody that's involved in that for sure.
absolutely.
I want to reiterate to you, Sojourner, why I wanted to have you on here. I know you're an on-air host and a producer
Yes.
based out of New York.
Yes.
I'm a journalist that got my start while I was in undergrad in Atlanta, Georgia, and then I moved here to Minnesota, and I've been working here as well. So I've been a journalist for the past 7 years. I'm now a freelance journalist, so I get to travel and do different things on a
I love
professional
that.
level, which is
Yes.
great. But I love talking to people in media, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody has a story to tell, including you.
Mm-hmm.
And your
Mm-hmm.
story is just as special as anyone else's. And I know that you're a Howard alum, and we're gonna get
I
into that
am.
for sure. And I just want to hear your story. I want to hear your background because we rarely get a chance to have sit down conversations like this where we tell each other about our why, our
Mm-hmm.
story. You're
Mm-hmm.
always on air or you're always doing something talking about a story instead of
Yeah.
telling.
Yeah.
So, Joiner, my first question is the same as it always is with every guest on here, and that is, what is your why? What is your why of doing what you do? Did you have any role models, any inspirations growing up? Is this something that you always wanted to do, or did it fall into your lap? What
Mm-hmm.
is your why of getting into the media industry?
So, what is my why? I have a few, and I can definitely say at its inception, my why was being a voice to the voiceless, and I wanted to be able to represent and tell stories for people who were not typically seen or heard or respected in media. And I think that is also just tied to my upbringing. I am born and raised in Westchester. I'm a suburban girl. I was born in White Plains and we lived in Peekskill. But my school was in Tarrytown. I never went to public school. My parents always had me in private education. So I went from a Christian school in kindergarten to a Catholic school for first and second grade, and then a private school called Hackley from third grade until 12th grade. It was very affluent. It was very elite. It was very, creme de la creme, so to speak. And with that, when I entered in the third grade, I was the only Black girl. The only Black girl. Wow. There was another young man who was biracial. He was half Black, half white. And so, not going to discredit him at all, but I honestly felt like I was the only. I did not see anybody else in my class that looked like me, resembled me. And from about third grade to fifth grade, I had a bit of, I don't want to say identity crisis, but a bit of an identity crisis. I remember thinking, why isn't my hair like theirs? We took swimming. Why do I have to wear double swimming caps? How come I have to have braids? Like, there was a sleepover one day and one of the girls had those new toys that if you put your hair in the machine, it'll braid it right quick. And it's my turn to do that and my hair gets tangled. I break the machine and it's like, well, okay, well, why am I so different? And not that I didn't feel like I had a place or space to speak about it, but at the same time, I didn't feel like I had a place or space to speak about it. My parents were there, but as a 9-year-old, you don't think, oh, my parents get this. Like, so it's something I just weighed on myself. And my environments outside of school were very Black. My church was Black, my extracurriculars were Black, but school, it takes up so much of your time. It takes up so much of your day to day. And so that was big for me in between third and fifth grade. I felt like I was the only. There wasn't until the sixth grade that my girlfriends, still to this day, they came and they joined. I'm like, oh, Black girls, I'm not the only one. Like, here we are, so I finally did get a semblance of that in the sixth grade. But early on, it was wanting to, like I said, provide a voice for the voiceless. And then outside of that, I've always innately been interested in people's whys. Why are you the way that you are? Why do you do the things that you do? I think I'm very observant, and I noticed that not everyone reacts the same. And I was always a why kid. I was the kid, you can't tell me because I said so. Okay, well, why? Like, okay, I understand you're saying so, but I'm a make it make sense person. I don't have to like it. I don't have to agree with it. But as long as you can make it make sense to me and I can understand where you're coming from, then I'm on board. I probably won't like it. I'm probably going to have something to say about it, but we can get somewhere because I understand where you're coming from. So I've always had an innate, well, why? And so as I'm climbing the ranks in school and figuring out what I want to do. And I remember being split. Do I want to major in psychology or do I want to major in journalism? And I remember that being like a huge turning point for me. And I ultimately did choose journalism because my influences, I wanted to be the next Wendy Williams. I wanted to be the next Lala. Like, I love sitting and talking. And I'm sorry, the art of gossip, it is an art. And it is an art that I do well, if you ask me. So I was always very interested in just the pop culture of it all, the overarching culture of it all. And so I said, journalism is where I'm going to go. So I took those passions of mine, being able to provide a voice for the voiceless and wanting to figure out people's why. And I poured that into studying journalism while at Howard.
I love that. I do. And listen, I live my life pretty much the same way you live yours. I love the fact that you're asking why. Listen, you can't allow people, and this is just my mind frame, and it may be yours too. I don't allow people to just tell me anything.
No.
Never do. You never do.
First of all, you can't run a flim flam on a flim flam man. I need to understand all certain points. You can't just say something is and expect me to just jump on board. I want to see from the same vantage point that you see it. Tell me why this is what it is.
And we can also agree to disagree. I should, and that's cool. That's fine. If you have your perspective that makes sense, and I think it makes sense, cool. If I don't think it makes sense, cool. It's cool. There is no like ill will with that.
Exactly.
Listen, if you keep it a buck, I'm gonna keep it a buck, and it's gonna be good. But understand this: don't demean my opinion. Don't demean my opinion to usurp yours.
Yes, very
I don't
much.
play. I don't
Very
play
much. And
that.
I'm very big on, and this might just be my background in the church and in my faith. I'm very big on empathy and understanding. And I think that's a lesson that they teach as kids. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And I remember going ahead and putting myself in my mom's shoes, like, okay, like I'm in somebody else's shoes. Now what? And having to be explained, no, it's not about physically going in somebody else's shoes. It's trying to understand something from their vantage point. And so at a young age, I was like, okay, to your point, if I can put myself in your shoes, if I can understand your background, if I can understand how you saw things, then I can understand how you came to that conclusion. Me being on the other side of this, I don't have the same perspective. I don't have the same viewpoint. So I'm going to think differently, but I understand how you came to those conclusions.
Absolutely, which also bleeds into the next question, which is you did go to Howard University. Now, I love the background of setting it up, being able to say, from my early stages of school to fifth grade, I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
see much like me. I didn't see a likeness. And,
No.
that does affect kids. It does affect kids when you have that. When you don't see nobody else like you and you're trying to blend in, you're trying to have friends, you're trying to understand, that's when your understanding comes about. And you be
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm different. But now you go to an all black college and
Yeah.
Howard, right? HBCUs. Talk to me about, was Howard the only choice, or were there other schools that could have persuaded you to go somewhere else?
I knew in my heart it was an HBCU or nothing. I knew that for a fact. As you mentioned, growing up in that private school sector, again, my extracurriculars were very black. My parents are very black, so I knew what it was to be black. But everyone kept saying college is supposed to be different than what you already know. You've already seen what you've experienced. You've already been in the bubble of the world that you grew up in. College is supposed to broaden your horizon. And so I said, okay, if I've been in the elite spaces of the white affluent, I want to be in the elite spaces of the black affluent. I'm not going to go anything less than where I've been. So I need to make sure I'm right on par with where I already was. So I automatically knew it was going to be an HBCU. Then it was about figuring out which HBCU I was going to attend. The summer before my senior year of high school, I did a summer program at Xavier University in New Orleans, and I fell in love with it. And because of that program, it wasn't automatic guaranteed admission, but we did classes for credit and whatnot. So if a student wanted to then enroll in Xavier University, they more than likely would have a leg up. So I was already kind of a guarantee at Xavier University. I was obsessed with Atlanta as a teenager. I was like, just
Hello.
a lot of the books that I read, it was hot Atlanta. It was, an up and coming affluent black scene. So I was like, oh, Atlanta, Spelman, let's do it. So I remember visiting Spelman and I really did love it. I really did love it, but there was still something that wasn't all the way there. And I can't put my finger on what it was. And if I ended up at Spelman, I'm sure I would have loved it. But when I tell you, when I stepped foot on Howard's campus, and maybe because one of my close family friends, a girlfriend of mine, was the year above me, and she had started her freshman year at Howard. And she also had a similar back. We grew up together. So the same neighborhoods. She didn't go to the same private school I went to, but she also went to a private school as well. And then she ended up at Howard. So I visited on my own. I visited with my family, and I did like a weekend with her. And when I tell you, I felt home. And they say home is where the heart is. I didn't really, outside of her, I didn't have anybody else there, but my spirit was like, baby, this is it. And so I remember going home and I was like, it's Howard University. It's Howard University, all eggs in the basket. And my parents wanted me to look at other colleges. They wanted me to look at things in New York. And I was fighting tooth and nail. I'm like, you can't make me. I'm going to Howard. I'm going to Howard. I'm going to Howard.
Right.
And so when I got that acceptance letter, I remember screaming my head off. I ran downstairs because it was online. I got the letter, but I remember looking online and seeing my acceptance. And my parents knew she got accepted. We're going to send her there. And that was that. The best decision I ever made, hands down.
Oh, no doubt. I definitely know people that have graduated from there, and Howard is definitely quite an experience. I can attest to you for sure, because I went to undergrad in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to undergrad at Kennesaw State University.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Now,
Nice.
I made my decision based upon finances. However, I did have a lot of friends that went to Morehouse, so I do know
Yeah.
about the Morehouse and Spelman
Oh,
hookup.
yeah. Oh, yes.
You
Yes.
know about that. No question. But I also was interested in HBCUs. And for me, I wanted to either go to Norfolk State University, or I wanted to go to Florida A&M.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Florida A&M is a different
Listen,
vibe.
that ain't no joke. Yeah, they
It
ain't no
ain't no
joke
joke
down
down
there.
there. It is. It is quite different down there. I was like,
Yes.
man, you know what? I might like this, but Mama was
Yeah,
like,
a
"No,
rich
you can't.
culture, very rich
You,
culture.
you can't go there, baby. I'm sorry, you can't go
Yeah,
to that school."
you gonna lose your mind.
That's what she was like. She was like, "Okay, you
Yeah.
know what? I feel you. I'll pick something else." But I
Mm,
love that story of how you're talking about Howard and going there and getting that experience. That's amazing. So, Joyner, I want to ask you some favorite questions. Okay,
okay,
you give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Are you with me?
I'm with it. I'm with it. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Favorite meal you like to cook?
Ooh, you're talking to a foodie. You're talking to somebody who loves to cook. Okay, I'd say my go-to meal would be my duck fat chicken wings.
Mm.
Um, Probably like a good jasmine or coconut jasmine rice and some
Ooh.
spinach.
Okay, so I'm gonna just tell you this right off the rip. I'm coming to New York next month.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's there's an on air fest that I'm coming
Okay.
to. It's in
Yes.
Brooklyn, New York. I don't know how close you are to
Oh
Brooklyn,
yeah,
but hello.
Brooklyn's right across the bridge. Yeah.
Okay, hello. My name is Chris. I'm just saying that's some good stuff there, Sojourner. That's some good
Yes,
stuff.
yes,
I'm just saying.
yes.
So I'm just throwing that out there, just in case you're there when I'm there.
Absolutely. Okay. We
Let's do
love a good
something.
meal. We love a good home cooked
Absolutely,
meal.
no doubt. I'm a huge taco person.
I am.
Being a bachelor, Sojourner, if you don't cook, you don't eat. So that's just
I
the
know.
way it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hello. So I got to be able to get
Unless
in the
Uber
kitchen.
Eats and DoorDash are your best friend.
They are at times, no doubt about it. I ain't gonna lie about that. I can't cap on that.
Mhm.
I definitely do DoorDash at times, but being a reporter, you're working nights and weekends, especially if you
Mhm.
do report.
Mhm.
So I
Yes.
don't
Yes.
want to come home at 12 o'clock at night and have to whip something up all the
No.
time.
No.
I don't
Who
want to
has
do
the
that.
energy and time for that? No.
Absolutely, I feel you on that. I like that meal though.
Oh yeah.
Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Ooh, you're also talking to somebody that loves concerts.
Music,
I've
yeah.
been going to concerts since I was 5 years old. My first concert was in, oh, I think I was 5, 6. It was 99, the All Star, not All Star, All That concert. Um, ooh, favorite one. I feel like Beyonce is the easy answer because
Hmm.
she's Beyonce, but Kanye is one of my favorites. Lucky Day has been one of my favorites. Um, I'm missing some, I'm missing a lot. I've seen them all. I've seen them all. Jasmine Sullivan, Jill Scott, love those concerts as well. But I think
Yeah.
Beyonce and Kanye will probably have to be my top two concert experiences.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you for sure on the Kanye. I went to when Kanye and Jay-Z dropped their Watch the Throne.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
That was an amazing concert. Plus, also for our concert, they also had Trey Songz and Young Jeezy on the undercard.
Okay.
Which,
Okay.
before he became Jeezy, Young Jeezy,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
song "I Was Young Jeezy." Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes.
was it. That was the
Oh
move
yeah.
right there. So yes, definitely one of my favorite concerts for sure. Okay, favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Ooh, you're talking to a traveler. Okay. Ooh, all for different reasons.
Hmm.
I loved Costa Rica. I absolutely love Costa Rica. I had the best chicken parm of my life in Costa Rica.
Really?
Funny
Mm.
enough, you're right. But I love Italy and Greece and Bali. Those might be like in my top four because I'm
Okay.
obsessed. I loved everything about the culture, the food, the experience while I was there, the homes that we stayed in while traveling. I love, I don't think I've ever had a bad travel experience. I would put any of them, whether I'm staying on a resort or I'm living locally. I love traveling. Love, 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 love.
So do I. We got a lot of things in common, girl. I'm
Yeah,
liking this.
listen. Okay, yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
things, yes, absolutely. I'm a huge traveler. I may have to talk to you because you said Greece. So I'm
Yes.
actually going on a cruise this June coming up as a singles
Nice.
cruise to Greece.
Okay. A single
Yeah.
cruise, that sounds like the best kind of fun. I'll say that.
Oh, you best believe. But we definitely gonna have fun. There's no question about that. They better have
That's
some
nice.
Hennessy. They better have some damn Hennessy on the boat. That's
Right.
what they better have. That's for sure.
Hennessy. People
Mhm.
are losing the art of That is my go-to drink. Hennessy or champagne, one of the two only. I don't do
Girl,
tequila. I don't do the whiskey. I don't Hennessy or champagne.
the joint, you gonna make me put a ring on it. You better stop playing with me. You better stop playing with me, yo.
I'm being so honest. That is hilarious.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm a huge Tennessee person. No
Hmm,
question
hmm.
about it. So I hope they got it there. That's gonna happen in June. My
Yes.
favorite place that I've been to though, is Jamaica. No question
Oh,
about
I
it.
love Jamaica. Yeah, yeah.
Going to Jamaica. We went
Hmm.
on my dad set up a cruise last October, and we went to
Nice.
Jamaica, the Bahamas. We
Mhm.
went to the Cayman Islands, and we went to Mexico. And
Beautiful. Yes.
had some jerk chicken. I'm a huge jerk chicken
Oh,
fan, so
listen, and
um,
that's one thing about it. I don't eat pork in America. I only eat pork in for. So when I went to Mexico, give me the carnitas, give me the cecina. When I go to
ooh,
Jamaica,
yeah,
give me the jerk pork. If I go to any Asian country, like give me the pork that you eat. I just don't eat pork in America. But some
mm.
jerk pork, fresh from Jamaica. Oh my, it gets no better. It gets no
It was
better.
great. It was amazing. I mean, I
Yeah.
literally just got my passport this year, which is
Okay,
crazy.
yeah, no, get them stamps in. Get them stamps in. Yes, yes,
You know I will, girl. You know I will. Okay. Now I'm a sports reporter, so I got to ask a sports question.
of course.
Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go basketball for both. Ball is life. Ball is life. I growing up with my dad and my brother, they are basketball players. My brother also plays baseball. We'll watch football. Like I know enough to comment and give my commentary, but I only watch football around now, playoff season, championship, Super Bowl. But basketball, you give me a good basketball game, I'm set, I'm there, I'm loud, I'm active. You're gonna look at me like, okay, why is she so hyped? Because no, ball is life. Ball is life.
Girl, I'll be cheesing like the Kool-Aid man if you start doing. I'm trying to tell you, you left. Where the
Ball
hell
is
have you
life. Yeah,
been? Basketball is
yeah,
my favorite sport. It seriously
yes,
is.
yes.
I
I,
love
I
it. I
played
love
in
it.
sixth and seventh grade, so I feel like I have a closer affinity to it.
Absolutely, definitely. So are you Knicks or are you Nets?
So I am Knicks. I am a sore loser. So I don't like to consistently root for a team that just loses all the time. But the Knicks have been putting in work, baby. They've been putting in work. I'm,
Okay.
I'm excited to see kind of where they go this season. I'm missing what was his name? Who did they get rid of? Dante DiVincenzo.
They
Yeah,
did.
Jalen did everything he did to get the Villanova boys all together, and we had them together. We didn't get to see them all play, but he took that pay cut to keep them all, and then you go ahead. But I like Cat. Cat's been big purr. Shout out to Cat. So I'm not mad at it, and I think they're gonna do really, really well this season. So I'm on board. I'm on board.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, to me, they're the third best team in the East.
Yeah,
They're clearly behind Boston and Cleveland, but
yeah.
not to say that they can't beat those teams for
They
sure.
can. And this thing, they were injured before, but now that we got like a good, healthy roster, let's see what they're willing to do.
Okay, so Sojourner, I hope that I hope I'm still in your good space, good heart. When I tell you this, I'm a Lakers fan.
Oh,
Now,
that's all
mind
right.
you,
That's all right. Okay, because
correct?
winners win.
Okay,
Winners win. All right. So I'm
okay.
never gonna be mad at a Lakers fan. Y'all know winning. Y'all do it well. So by
Thank
all
you.
means.
I appreciate that. I grew up in San Diego, although
Okay.
I transplanted from Atlanta, Georgia. My mother moved
Hmm.
us to Atlanta, Georgia. But it's a big time game coming up. The Lakers and Knicks play this Saturday.
Yeah.
We're gonna be on opposite ends, but
That's all
girl,
right.
I'm,
That's all
I'm
right.
with
Hey,
you.
a winner will win. A winner will win.
Hello. So I was about to say that you took the words out of my mouth. So I love that. Basketball is my favorite sport too. I'm
Yes.
loving it so far. So here we go. You said you was a foodie. So the
Yes.
last favorite question is, what is your favorite restaurant to eat at out there in New York? Because like I told you, I'm coming out there next month now. So
That that's like asking who is your favorite child. It's like you love them all and you love them all for different reasons. And funny
mhm.
enough, I don't there's so many restaurants in New York. I don't often find myself going to the same places, but I will say I love a good Sunday fun day. So church and then a brunch combination. And so
Okay.
Fumo is one of my favorite Italian restaurants. Their spicy calamari and their penne alla vodka with chicken parm will always see me.
Ooh,
Lido
okay.
also has a really good brunch. Um, Ricardo's classic brunch. I love the fact that you could get a good ribeye steak with a carafe of mimosas. It gets no better than that, if you ask me.
I'm
Um,
done.
More
Ooh,
dinner options. I just went to Aqua, which is a new restaurant. It's a Japanese and Italian fusion, and not fusion in the sense where they're literally combining the foods. They have two separate menus, two separate kitchens, a Japanese kitchen and an Italian kitchen, but the ambiance is beautiful. Teresi is one of my favorite Italian restaurants. It is so hard to get a reservation there, but I was able to snag one once and it was fantastic. Tatiana by Chef Kwame, another one right at the Lincoln Center. Go see a show at the Lincoln Center, hop into Tatiana for dinner. Fantastic. Okay. Those are the ones that come up off the top of my mind. I know after we finish, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I forgot this one. But there's so many restaurants. It's so hard to nail down a favorite. But those are the ones that I typically try and seek after.
Well, I'm definitely going to hit up one of the restaurants in my 4 days there. You know, I got to say what's up to you.
Oh, yeah. But I said, you said you're going to be in Brooklyn. So let me think. Brooklyn-wise, Charm BK, which is right by the Barclays, actually. Their oxtail mac and cheese. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That's,
you know what? Fun fact, I've never had oxtails. I've never had oxtails. Yeah, I've never had oxtails. So it'll be my first time to be able to try something like that.
Oh, oxtail. That, yeah, always. I can eat oxtail every single day, every which way. Oxtail pizza, oxtail mac and cheese, oxtail empanada, just some oxtail with some rice and peas. Keep it classic. Like, yeah, any which way. Any which way.
I'm with you on that. All right. Well, best believe I'm gonna definitely hit up one of those spots and I'm gonna say what's up to you. No doubt. No doubt. I want to talk to you about your well, first off, let me ask this because I normally like to ask New Yorkers this question. I've been to New York City before, but my first time that I ever got there, I went on a megabus.
Okay, yeah.
And so the megabus dropped me off on 34th and 11th and 12th.
Yep, right by that Javits Center.
Right. So I was like, first of all, there's too many damn numbers because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, there's so many numbers, 34, 11, 12, I'm lost, yo. But there was this dude when I got off the bus, it was real late at night, and he offered me some street meat. And I was like, nah, bro, I don't want none of your street, none of your meat. I'm good.
You have to. The halal carts, hot dogs, you gotta get it. Some lamb over rice with the white sauce and the hot sauce. You can only get that on the street. You're not gonna get it any other place where it's gonna be, but you have to get that off a street cart. A good solid hot dog. I don't know your toppings. Give me a little ketchup, a little mustard, a little onions if you got it. Well, I'm about to say back in the day it's $1. Now it's probably $2 with inflation and whatnot. But yeah, no, street meat in New York. Look for the rating. Look, make sure they have an A on that bad boy. But like, yeah, gotta get some street meat. Gotta get some street meat.
So that was my question because most New Yorkers tell me that you got to go to a certain spot to get your street meat because you got to look for the rating because you got to make sure it's good.
Yes. Okay. Not all carts are equal, but the good ones are good.
Got you. Now, first time the dude said street meat to me, I was about to, I'm about to.
Yeah, I'm say, pause. Yeah. What you talking? What you talking?
I was like, yo, what you talking about? Like, I'm coming from Atlanta.
Right.
I'm doing. He talking about, can you want some of my street meat? I'm like, nah, bro.
Like, watch your mouth.
Right. I ain't trying to have none of your street or meat. What the hell are you talking about? He was like, nah. I could whip something up for you.
Here, try some.
Nah, fam, just give me.
At that point, you just so turned off. It's like, you know what?
Hell yeah, I was like, come on, dog. You talking about street meat? It's 2 a.m. Like, what you
mean? Yes.
So I'm glad you covered. I'm glad you cleared that up, Sojourner.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Let's talk about your day to day. As you know, journalists and the media, it changes every single day. What we cover, what we talk about, what we do. And I've worked in publications for the past 6-7 years before going freelance, and I was doing different stories, writing feature stories, editorials, all different kinds of stuff. We just do something different every day, which is why we love the job. We love the job because it's not something that you just come to a 9 to 5, sit at a desk and do the same shit over and over again, right? I don't like that. I would hate that for sure.
Boring.
Talk to me about your day-to-day operations as an on-air host and as a producer there in New York and how you prepare and get ready for that.
I'd say I try. It's a 50-50 blend between paying attention to the world and current events, but also being in my group chats and just seeing the conversations and stories that are plaguing me and my friends in my day-to-day. I have a very wide circle. I have my friends that I've had from childhood. I have my adult friends. I have my professional settings, and they each have different group chats. And I'm more often able to figure out what are our real concerns and what's really plaguing us from talking to them. And honestly, scrolling my Twitter timeline. Like, yes, there's a lot of conversations about $200 dates and, if your mom and your girlfriend are in the car, who's sitting in the front seat versus the back seat, like some, very mundane things like that. But it's also like, if these are the conversations that people are having, these are the things that they care about. These are the questions that they have. These are the answers that they're looking for. There's NBC, CBS, ABC. So the current events, the world topics, those are already covered. And so me as a host, I like to tap into the cultural trends, and I like to tap into the conversations that are really plaguing people's minds. And of
Right.
course, that is going to change day to day, each week. But that's me just staying abreast on social media and in my circles to figure out what is it really that you all care about. What are you watching? What are you reading? What questions do you have? What answers can I provide? What resources can I point you to find
Right.
those answers? And then again, figuring out the why. Well, why do you care about this? Why is this a topic of conversation right now? People often say the $200 dates come around first of the month. Rent needs to get paid. People looking at their finances are like, well, damn, I probably should have spent all that money on that date. That's a why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're
Mm-hmm.
talking about this, because finances
Right.
are huge. So I'm always looking to see what people are caring about. And I'm more often than not able to see that more in my social media conversations or like in my group chats. So I am in my phone. I am in these conversations. I am in these chats. I am in these threads, engaging, asking questions, seeing what it is that people are caring about. And I'm in the
Absolutely.
process of curating my own show. I think it's time for me to take that leap of faith and say, you know what? I have a passion, I have a talent, I have a niche. I want to reach the masses. Go ahead and do it on your own. You don't need to look to other people. And so, in preparation for that, I am very deeply in these conversations and seeing what makes people tick, what gets them excited, what are they riled up against, what makes them angry, what are they seeing in the world that they're unhappy about. So I'm documenting all of this, I'm taking notes on all of this, and these are all just going to be conversation tools that I use as I approach being a host on air.
I love that. I do. And I certainly would love to listen to your show. And I would love to have some banter with you, especially
Oh
with your
yeah, listen, you need the people. You
exactly.
need the people. You need like minds and you need different minds. You need different perspectives. I say, and I think one thing that's held me back is I'm always like, well, who wants to hear from me? What do I have to say? And I'm getting out of that because there is a world where people do want to listen to what I have
Yes,
to say. And so I'm going to
absolutely.
provide that. But I am also about providing different perspectives, just having different people to provide different viewpoints. So I think, yeah, there's magic to be made for sure.
Absolutely. I would totally listen to your perspectives. And I think a lot of people would too, because no matter what, people want to be challenged. People say they don't want to be, but people do want to be challenged. And you do want to
Yeah,
think from other people's perspectives. That's how you have really good conversations
yeah,
because
yeah,
you have to open up your horizons. If you just, stubborn and stuck into your ways and biased all the time, thinking that you're right, those are not healthy conversations to have. And
exactly.
you never want
Exactly.
to have conversations like that.
No,
Now,
you
I do
always
want
want
to.
to in your
I
mind.
do want to ask you though about what you just said. How would you feel? Because, and I'm going to give you my perspective, but I want to hear your response based upon mine. You said something about $200 dates. I'm a proponent of special occasions. I'm a proponent of special days, birthdays of two. I don't mind $200 dates at all for
Mm-hmm.
those type of instances. But if you're my lady and we're going out, and you know my lifestyle, you know where I work, I know where you work. It's like, okay, listen, I'm not going to take you to McDonald's or Burger King, but at the same time, I'm going to, wherever we go, it's going to be I'm going to make it special, regardless of
Right.
what restaurant we go to. So I'm a proponent of $200 dates, but I also think that those should be reserved for special occasions. What do you think?
I think people just need to be realistic about what works for them. If you're dating with the right intentions, then you have no desire to drain somebody's pockets just for the sake of going out to a restaurant. You care about their finances, you care about what they're spending. You might be privy to they have a car payment, they pay rent, they may be giving money to family members or whatever it is that they have going on. And so if you care about that person, if you're dating for the right reasons, then you're going to be considerate. And so if you're suggesting a date, you're not going to pick a restaurant where the cheapest thing on the menu is $30. No, you're going to say, you know what, maybe we go to this other place. And to your also point,
Right.
again, dating for the right reasons, a date
Hmm.
can be, I have three P's when it comes to dates: pre planned, paired off, and paid for. Those are the three components of a date. You can be spontaneous and hit somebody up. Oh, you free? Let's go do something. But that's not pre-planned. That's not intentional. You can go out to a bar and kind of just sit at the bar or whatever. You can be paired off in your conversation, but you want something that's a little bit more intimate, so to say. But you can have that in a park. You can set up a beautiful picnic with a blanket and some snacks from the bodega, and the park already gives you the ambiance, and you come up with question games to play. Like, a date is such a wide range of things to do, and that's when it falls back down to intention. There are a lot of people who are dating for the wrong reason. Some people just want to be wined and dine, and so those are the ones who are like, yeah, it better be a 5-star restaurant every single time. You're not dating for the right reasons. You're dating just to be seen and just to go out and just to say that you had that experience. But when there's those levels of consideration, then you know what a person is able to do, and then you're okay with setting intentions and dates and ideas that are within that reality.
Absolutely. I love that. I do. And I would personally, on the second one, I would probably put my mother in the front seat. Now, here's the reason why I would do that. Here's the reason why I would do that, okay? Before I get to the next statement.
Yes.
Number one, it goes to show that most women who date men, in my opinion, want to see how you treat your mother, because how you treat your mother is how you're gonna treat the woman. So if
Yeah.
I'm putting my mother in the front seat, if I'm telling her she can be in the front seat, babe, you can sit in the back seat for now. That's just a sign of respect that I have for her, and the same kind of respect that I will allocate to you and
Mm-hmm.
to anyone else. So that's just how my thought process is. Now, mind you, that might not rock with everybody, but that's okay. That's fine. I might have had a different answer in my 20s. Now that I'm in my 30s, to join them,
Right,
when
right.
you
No,
it feels
listen,
like when you get
we've grown, and we've seen things from
Mhm,
different sides and different angles, and we also know
mhm,
not only what our priorities are, but the type of partner we want. The type of partner
right,
we want is going to understand that
mhm,
putting mom, dad, whomever in the front seat is not a snub to you. It's a
right,
respect to my elder, my parent. I'm honoring them in that sense. And hey, they
right,
may say, "Oh no, baby, go ahead, put me in the back seat. I'll lounge back here." Cool,
mhm,
that's great, but I'm not going to tell them where to sit. I'm going to see where is most comfortable for them, and then let them dictate where that is, and be fine regardless.
absolutely.
It
I feel
shouldn't
you
be
on
that
that.
big of a deal.
I always tell because I do substitute teaching as well. And I substitute teach at an adolescent when I'm not, doing reporting and stuff like that, picking
Mm-hmm,
up
mm-hmm.
kids. And kids always ask me, because they consider me old because I'm in my
Yeah, yeah,
30s.
we are.
So,
We are.
so, right. So the high schools ask me, so do you have a girl? How's dating with you? And I said, well, listen, the older you get, the more confident I feel that you get, the more that life slows down for you, the more that you zero in on
Mm-hmm,
things that you're looking
mm-hmm.
for in a partner. And you really do. You're kind of wild and crazy in your teens, in your 20s. You're trying
Doing it
different
all for the
things,
plot, doing it all for
doing
the
it
hell of
all,
it.
right? But then when you get into your 30s, you kind of like, okay, I want to be able to settle down with somebody that is like minded, somebody
Mm-hmm,
that's goal oriented. Like
mm-hmm.
you had your three P's. So for me, before I get to the next question, you got to have two of these three for sure. And the one thing that's mandatory is job. At this point, I cannot have a woman in my life that doesn't have a job because, like I said, if you don't have a job, we got to figure out what's going on with your life. You got to figure out what's going on. Now, your own place, people fall on hard times.
Right,
You would love
right.
to have your own place. You would love to have that. But again, like you talked about empathy and understanding, you got to be understanding with that.
Mm-hmm,
A
mm-hmm.
car as well. I'm not going to hold against you that you don't have a car. Again, if you struggling to get your own place, I understand that. I can come pick you up. There's no problem. I have all
Mm-hmm.
three, so I have no problem with that. But the job is something that I will not negotiate with any woman.
Fair, fair.
Because at this point in my life, I can take care of you, but it ain't gonna stretch out for years and years. It's just
Right,
not gonna
right.
do
Well,
that.
there got to be a plan of action. And I've always
Right.
said, if a woman's not going to, well, let me not even say a woman, if a person is not going to work, or if they don't have a system in place for them to be able to work, what other means of income are you then going to find? There has to be
Right.
something.
Right.
Or if your partner then has their own business, how are you supporting them and their business? Are you serving as their administrative assistant? Are you serving as their, you got to do something to then say, okay, well, if I'm not going to work, then I need to support you, because somebody got to get this money. Somebody got to
Right.
do it. So if
Right.
it ain't going to be you, then help me get it.
Right. Now, I wanted to flip that because I talked about the house job and car. Is that a requirement for you as far as if you're trying to seek somebody, or if you're talking to a girlfriend that might be single, is that some advice you're giving to a fellow friend of yours?
Well, see, and again, people have to find what works for them.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more of a old school traditional gal. I don't mind being barefoot and pregnant in the house in the kitchen, getting some meals going, watching the kids while you go home and bring in
Okay.
the bacon, and I make sure there's a home cooked meal and a clean home when you return. That doesn't bother me. I have
Yep.
girlfriends who are like, "Oh, I would never." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that works for
Good.
you. That
Teach
this
his
works
own.
for me."
Right.
But you have to find what works for you. But then, even on top of that, it's about partnership. And
Yes,
even
it
in
is.
a partnership, whether it's two people working, one person working, whatever that looks like, how are you both sustaining each other? How are you both pouring into each other? And so,
Right.
if there's one person who isn't working and the other person is, how are you setting it up so that their life is easier for them to go to work? You don't want them to come home to work to a dirty house, no food, who's cooking dinner, clothes are all over the place. That's not an equal partnership. But if you're coming home and the house is clean, it's smelling nice, your wife looks
Mhm.
good, if there are kids involved, they're just happy to see daddy, then yeah, you feel good about going out into the world and bringing home a check because you know it's sustaining you and your loved
Absolutely.
one. But if you coming
Mhm.
home to no, matter of fact, I'm gonna go back out the house. I'm gonna go. I actually don't want to be here. You know what I mean? And so for
Yeah.
me, and I hate to play into gender roles, but old school traditional a bit. I play into gender roles. So as I am looking for a man to have a job. I absolutely am looking for a man to have a job. I'm absolutely looking for a man to have. Now, I think being in New York, I'm rent is expensive. I understand things of that nature. And a lot of
No
people, like
doubt.
for myself, I live with my grandmother. So I don't pay rent. I'm up in this co-op that my grandmother has. She's been living here since 74. My dad and my uncle were raised in here. And this is our asset. This is our familial asset. So
Absolutely.
I have no
Absolutely.
desire to go and pay rent when I can live here and just stack my bread. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean,
there
it would
there
be
are
silly to
people that
do.
I
No
meet.
question.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So there are people who I meet who they're like, no, like my family, we have either a brownstone or a townhome or a house, and I live in the basement and I live on the first floor. That's living at home, but you're also being financially smart. You know what I mean? Also
Yes.
living in New York. I understand not everybody has a car. We have the subway system. We have everything that we need. In a perfect world, someone has a car, but it's not a end all be all if you don't, because we live in New York City between Uber and
Absolutely.
trains. We will be able to get where we need to get. And then also, I'm thinking financially. If a car is a big bill, that's a huge finance. So if
No
you live at
question.
home and you're saving your money and you don't have a car, and you have a good job, that means you are stacking your bread. And I am
Yes,
never
ma'am.
mad at somebody stacking their bread. So
I
it's also,
know.
again,
I'm with
people
you.
have to do what works for them. They have to be smart about their financial decisions. They have to be smart about why it is that they're working or they're not working. Like, is it you're just not working because you're lazy, or you're not
Mm.
working because you're working on a passion project, and that passion project is what's going to be what sustains and fuels you as you go on in life? We see the world, we see the layoffs, we see the industry. So I'm also empathetic to, you might have been working for a long time and then there might be a blip. I get that. But what are you doing in that blip? What are you doing to serve yourself and to still be a productive member of society, but also growth in yourself to get going? So there are, oh yeah, you need to have this, you need to have this, but it's case by case scenario. And I always listen to people and their stories to figure out why they are where they are. And then that's how I'm able to inform, okay, there's something for us to work with here, or there's not.
I love that. I do. And leads into another great question, the great segue, which is mental health and work-life
Yes.
balance. The reason why I want to talk about this is because it's more prevalent now in our society, in
Yeah.
our industry, more so than ever. It used to be looked at as a sign of weakness that
Mm-hmm.
people would talk
Mm-hmm.
about it, but now
Yeah.
it's looked to as a strength, which is great. I know for me, I like to do hobbies. I like to write poetry. I like to go on walks. I like to work out. I like to do different things that kind of clear my mind. But I also understand the work-life balance too, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting my master's at the moment. I'm doing podcasts. I'm doing, right? Hello. I'm
Yeah. Come
going to
on.
different places, doing sports reporting. I'm doing different things that I love. But sometimes you can experience burnout.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can
Yeah.
experience things, especially when you're going all the time. And when you're in this media space, there's not a time where you be like, oh man, I could take off this day holiday. Sometimes you have to work through holidays. Sometimes you have
Mm-hmm.
to work through different things. Talk to me, Sojourner, how you keep your mental health strong but also have that work-life balance. Because I saw your IG now, and let me tell you, it's very beautiful, and not just yourself, but the places that you went. Like if people see your IG, you went to some really amazing places. That's just
Yes, yes,
absolutely beautiful scenery wise. So you seem like a very outgoing person. Talk to me. How
yes.
do you balance that?
Jesus. That's short answer. Short. The
Amen.
only way
Amen.
I mean, I'm naturally an optimistic person.
Mhm.
But I think my faith, I say faith is just diluted optimism in a way. I believe in my heart of heart that God is always going to see. I mean, he has. If I just look at the nature of my life, there has never been a time, even at my lowest, there has never
Mhm.
been a time where I've needed or wanted for anything. I have been blessed beyond belief, blessed beyond. And my first example of God's love for me is by my parents and the people that he put in my life. And I don't mean to sound above anyone. Like, I know not everyone is able to come from a life that I've had or have the parents that I have or things of that nature. So I don't like to, oh, God's favor, anything like that. His love is abundant for all. But for
Right.
me specifically, I have to just look at what God has done, not only in my life, but in the lives of those around me, and seeing
Sure.
how he's able to make a way out of no way, seeing how he's able to just the miracles he's able to enact. And so that fuels me to dream big. It fuels me to think big because my God is there's no limits to what he can do. And so if there's no
Right.
limits to what he can do, why should I not dream big? Why should I not have these grand desires? Um, so for sure, Jesus, and just staying prayed up, staying in my word, staying faithful and obedient and disciplined to him is what allows me to just not really look at the ways of the world and not get too caught up in the way that the world is going, because end of the day, my trust is not in the world, it's in him.
Right. Right.
And then outside of that, my friends, I am nothing without my friends. I have girlfriends on girlfriends on girlfriends on girlfriends. It's always somebody's birthday. It's always somebody's this. And I've been blessed to have the same friends that I've had since out the womb. Like my girlfriends from church, my girlfriends from elementary school, my girlfriends from high school, my
I
girlfriends
love
from
it.
college. My like I have about some when I went to St. Lucia for my 30th birthday, I brought 30 people with me. And those are all
Okay.
close friends that I was, and that
Nice.
wasn't even everybody. That wasn't even, there were some people who were missing. So whenever there are moments of, oh, I just can't, there's too much going on, that's when I just tap out of my phone and the world, and I'll either tap into my Bible or I tap into my friends. Let me go outside and touch some grass. Let me just talk to them. Let me lean on them, and we lean on each other.
I love
Traveling
that.
is a big one. Let me just get out of New York. Let me get out of America, and let me just see what other people see in the world. Let me
Absolutely.
count their blessings. Let me count my blessings, and I'm grateful to have the ability to live here with my grandmother, because not paying rent and not having to worry about those expenses, I'm able to travel a lot more. I'm able to see a lot more, do a lot more.
Yep.
And that I can say that's a big reason my keep preserving and keeping my mental health is a big reason why I did not get into hard news. There was a point in time where I wanted to be the news reporter sitting at an anchor desk reporting on the things going, but I was like, the news is depressing. They're
It
always
is.
talking about somebody robbed this one, somebody killed this one, somebody, especially local news. It's not as much fun as I would
Right.
like. And I understand it's our duty to report on what's happening in the world, but I feel like if we did a little bit less of the fear mongering and a little bit more of this small business just opened and they're having, a grand opening, everyone go and check it out. And this person is opening up a garden and they're looking for people to come help facilitate the garden, like community. I'm very big on community. We can if we want, but we're not meant to do life alone. We are
Right.
meant to do life in tangent with those around us. And so whenever life just seems to get to be too much, I'm going to my word and I'm going to my community, because that's
I
when I
love.
feel grounded.
I'm with you. I'm with you. No, I love that answer. I do. And listen, talk your shit, man. Talk
Yeah,
it.
let's
Like
say,
for real,
yeah.
man. It's your story. It's your story. And listen, if you go to God and you do that, I love that. Because listen, God is the center of our lives.
Yes, yes, yes,
Without
yes, he is.
God, we are not able to do what we want to do. We're not able to do anything in this
I
world.
can't.
It all
Right.
stems from that. So, there's people out there that's atheists, and that's cool. Like I said, some people like tea, some people like lemonade, some people like half and half. You have
Right.
to choose. Your drink is at
Yes,
the end of the
yes.
day. right? You want
Yes.
to listen to it, you could. You don't have to. But I love that message that you just said. I really do. Um, what kind of advice would you give someone that wants to, pursue and being in the media industry, right? There's a lot of people that come out of college and sometimes, Sojourner, they get a misconception,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh man, I want to be on TV. I want to be famous. And listen, you in New York, which is the number one capital in the world
Yeah.
when it comes to
Mhm.
media. So what kind of advice would you give somebody that's like maybe a postgraduate or someone that just really wants to be in the media industry?
I would first say study the medium. If you know whether you know what it is you want to do or you have no idea, you just know you want to be in medium in the media in general. You
Mhm.
have to know what is out there. So you have to read, you have to watch, you have to listen, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a digital show, whether it's an article, you have to see what the temperature is in the industry, what kind of content is out there, how are people delivering it, how are they engaging it, is it in nowadays we see people have a long article but then they have the audio file where you can listen to it if you don't feel like reading. So diversify your palette, diversify where you're getting your stories from, try and have a wide and broad horizon of, because I know even me, I hate Fox. I still got to pay attention to what they're saying and how they're saying it just so I can see what type of media is out there and how they're communicating to their audiences. So for sure,
Absolutely.
I would say study, but especially in this day and age, just do. We have if you have a computer, if you have a phone, if you have a camera, you have all that you need to have your own show. And I'm not
Right.
saying don't go to college was monumental in teaching me the basics, teaching me the groundwork, giving me the behind the scenes of what it means to put on a production, to sit in front of a camera, to read a teleprompter, really to get those very technical kind of skills. But in this
Right.
day and age, I hate to say it, you don't need school. You don't. You can get it out the mud and do it on your own. There is a leg up
Oh,
that you get when you have those skill sets coming from undergrad or doing it in a master's program. But as long as you have the cellular device, the camera work, you have the apps that you need for editing. If you buy the extra accessory tools to get the light, to get a microphone, you have everything that you need at your disposal. So just go
right.
out and do. There is a lane for everyone. And especially now with TikTok and some of these new social media platforms, people aren't looking for polished. They're not looking for something that is oh so perfect. They're craving authenticity. Of influencers are going viral, laying up in the bed, bonnets on their head, crust still in their eye, just talking to the camera. And people love that because they can identify with that. That is real. And I think nowadays, again, like I said, people we have CBS, we have NBC, we have ABC, we have those very prim and proper, polished news outlets that are giving you that kind of ideal or traditional sense of media. But nowadays,
Right.
people want a little bit more. They want connection. They want to feel like they can connect with the person who's giving them their news. They don't want to feel like I see you on a TV for an hour slot and then I have no idea what your life looks like outside of that. They want that
Right.
connection. They crave that connection, that community, that authenticity. So if you want it, go out and get it. Just do it. And I'm low key, I'm talking to myself also because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I think growing up in the time and era that we did, we were raised to do and be all things in excellence. And if you're going to do it, make sure you're doing it to the nines. And so I'm like, oh, if I don't have my graphics, if I don't have my lower thirds, if I don't have a jingle, then I can't. And that's all of that can come with time. Again, how you start is not how you finish. So if you start in your room with a setup and a computer, you can start there, but you can always grow. So just go ahead and start.
Absolutely.
And as you start, you'll pay attention to what works, what doesn't work, what you want to change, what you want to keep, but allow yourself room to grow in that also.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And you gave bomb answers all conversation long, and you're gonna continue to do so. But I wanted to ask this bonus question because
Of course.
it has to be special to be able to work in a media space in your hometown state. A lot of
Mhm.
times when you graduate, you got to be able to go off to Timbuktu and be able
Right.
to try to
Yeah.
make it happen, right? Try to make it happen in these small areas, and you trying to adjust to a different area you've never been to. Talk to me about how special it is working in a state, a place that you grew up in.
It's it's absolutely mind blowing. And I think even for me growing up in Westchester, which for those who don't know, Westchester, like if the city is here and below, Westchester is right on top and above. It is a suburb right outside of the city. And so I was not a city girl. I did not grow up or was born and raised in the city. We would drive into the city. We would drive into Harlem. You know, we would see it. And my dad always wanted to make sure we see where he grew up and how he grew up. But I was very much on the outside looking in. So when I interned at NBC my summers in college through the Emma Bowen Foundation. And so that's when I started staying with my grandmother over the summer so I can get to work, you know, in a reasonable fashion. And that was my first time, like at what, 17, 18, really seeing what New York City is all about. And it is as scary as it may be for some, as wild as, you know, we hear these stories are, it is absolutely beautiful. Like you just stand in the middle of the street and you're looking at all the buildings, you're looking at all the people, and you just feel so small, but at the same time so grand, because let's just look at everything that's around you. Look at the access that you have, what you're able to do, who you're able to meet, the types of places that you're able to go. But at the same time, you realize that you're just a figment in this larger scale of things. You can scream and people will look at you, but they'll also keep going. Like nobody cares about you in New York City. Like you're a nobody in New York City, but you're a nobody who's able to become a somebody at the flip of it. Like you have endless opportunities to do and be anything here. And I think it's so beautiful. It's amazing to have that kind of access. It's a city that doesn't sleep. If you want to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and go see what's going on, you're going to see what's going on, and there's going to be something going on. And so always being in a city that is pulsing, that is so rich in culture, so diverse in the people that are living here. It's amazing. And it really gets no better.
I love that. I do. I remember going there, as I told you, on the mega bus. It's bumper to bumper. Like people bump you in the street, they'll just keep walking. They'll just keep walking behind their business. I walked by Madison Square Garden, and I told myself one day I'm gonna be in there covering the game because that's the mecca. That's the mecca of all places to go.
Yes, it is.
Madison Square Garden. New York City is amazing, especially the mom and pop shops. Shout out to the
Oh
mom
yes.
and pop shops
Shout out
out
to the
there.
mom and pop shops. Those are one of a
Yo,
kind.
y'all are the truth. The greatest Asian shrimp fried rice I ever had.
Always.
All
Right
that.
down the block. Yes, I'm about to say I can go to the fancy Chinese restaurants and I can get everything. Or hey, go on down to Chinatown. Go on down to Chinatown where they barely speak English, but that's when you know that authenticity is there. That's when you know you just point into a picture and you're like, let me try that, and they gonna give you the best of the best of the best. And that's the culture hub that is in New York. It gets no better.
No doubt. I like that. Now, Sojourner, we have reached the point of the podcast now where I like to do my interactive game called
Yes,
This.
I was playing a game.
Okay. So I do that with all my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's simple. I throw some things at you. You get to choose this or that. So for the second time, Sojourner, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Do you like chicken?
I love chicken.
Okay, here we go. Which chicken place would you rather eat at? Popeyes or KFC?
Ah, okay, because KFC is underrated, I want to say. I feel like people don't be showing love to KFC in the way that they do. I do. Ah. Ooh, I like KFC's coleslaw better, if that
Okay.
means I'm a sides girl, I'm a sauce girl. It's more than just I'm gonna go KFC. I'm gonna go KFC.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Now listen,
No shade to Popeye because I love me a good Popeye, but I'm going KFC.
well, listen, I'm gonna choose Popeyes just to be a little different, but at the same time, I do like KFC mac and cheese. Mac and
Yeah,
cheese is
I like theirs better than Popeyes too. You know what I mean?
no doubt,
So yeah.
no doubt, no doubt. Okay, here we go. When it comes to chicken wing flavors, which
Mm-hmm.
flavor are you gonna put on a chicken wing?
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper. I'm a dry rub all day.
Okay, so
And
you like your
not lemon
wings
pepper wet. Give me lemon pepper dry.
lemon pepper dry. Okay, so then I'm gonna ask you this: do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
I can do both. Honestly, I feel like boneless are also underrated because I'm a sauce girl. So if you give me some good ranch, if you give me some good honey mustard, if you give me some good barbecue sauce, I could take a good boneless and just get to dunking then all of my sauces and have the time of my life. But a good classic wing, good bite, it gets no better than
I
I'm gonna
like
go
that.
boneless. I'm gonna be
I
different. I'm
like
gonna go
that.
boneless.
No, I'm rocking with you. I'm rocking with you, girl. I definitely would do the boneless. Now I gotta ask you: do you eat boneless with your hands or with a fork?
And see, I do boneless with a fork. I do boneless with a fork. I'm the girl. I'm probably part of the reason why the world in climate change is as is. I go through a roll of paper towels like it's nobody's business. I am a paper towel bandit because I just don't like, maybe it's because of my nails. I just don't like a whole bunch of wet things on my hands. And so, yeah, with the good bone in, I know I just got to be a little dainty as I eat, but boneless, give me that fork. I'm going to town. I'm going to town.
I like that. Okay, here we go. So the next 5 questions have to do with concerts you
Okay.
rather attend. Okay, so here we
Okay.
go. We talked about this artist before, but which artist would you rather go see, Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
Ooh, okay, I like that. Which artist would you rather see in person, Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar.
Girl, that's what I'm talking about. K Dot. I
I'm
know
going.
that's
I'm
right.
going to see him in May, and I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh, okay. So you going to the Scissor
Oh,
Kendrick
oh
Lamar?
yeah, I'm going to that concert. I'm going to that
Okay.
concert.
Okay, got you. Say less. He's coming. He's actually starting off here in Minneapolis. So
Okay, nice, nice.
I'm definitely going to check it out here for sure.
Nice.
That's an eight.
I'm seeing him in Philly on Cinco de Mayo. I'm gonna make a quick little trip, go to Philly, get me a cheesesteak, celebrate Cinco de Mayo, get a taco, a marg, hit the concert, come on right back.
Damn, girl, I wish I was going with you. You sound like you're going to have a good time. Girl.
It's gonna be a
No,
day.
that's
It's gonna be a good day. Yeah.
that's what's up. Okay, here we go. Which artist would you rather see in concert, J. Cole or Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne.
Okay, Wheezy. I'm
Weezy
actually
and
gonna
Big.
go.
Please say the big.
I'm going to see him in Indianapolis at the
Nice.
end of February when I'm out there for the NFL Career Conference and
Oh,
Combine.
that's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to that. Which artist would you rather see in person, Brandy or Monica?
Brandy, the vocal Bible.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
all right. I like
Yes.
how decisive you being. You being decisive
Mm-hmm.
on these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that. This is the last one, but it's a throwback one. Okay, so
Okay.
which artist would you rather see in person in a prime? New Edition or Boys to Men?
Now
Ooh,
that's a hard one. Now,
ooh, I knew it would
and
be.
you said in their prime.
Mm, mm. That's when Boys and Men had 4 members in their prime.
Yeah, I think I'm going boys to men. I think I'm going boys to men.
Okay, okay, I'm with you on that. Now, see, this is what we differ a little bit. I'm gonna go the New Edition route, but it's slightly. It's like
Yeah, but yeah,
51%,
I can't. I won't be mad
49%.
at either or. You pull me up
Right.
in front of either. I'm gonna be geek regardless. So can't go
Got
wrong.
you on that. I got you on that. Okay. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Football or baseball?
Football.
Okay. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
I'm gonna go badminton because I suck at bowling.
I
These
was
nails
about to say
and bowling, it
with your
just doesn't.
nails, yeah, girls. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know
but
about
say,
that.
I mean, like I love a good bowl, but first of all, I need bumpers. If I'm being honest, we're gonna have to put those bumpers up if we're gonna play, and then I
Oh
have
hell
to be
no.
mindful of the nails. I can't have any breakage.
Oh
Being
hell
honest,
no. You
being
can't
honest.
do
So
that.
give me a little badminton over here. I can be cute with that.
Yeah, yes, you can. You certainly can with badminton. You are not being cute with no bumpers. You can't do that. You
No,
better have a
no.
toddler with you if you got bumpers. You better be babysitting somebody. I feel you on that. That's what's up. Okay. Um, do you like desserts?
Gotta have something sweet after every meal. I'm black. Gotta have something sweet after every meal.
You ain't lying about that. Okay, so I'm gonna throw 4 categories at you. You got to choose one of these that you'll get rid of. You'll never eat again.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So here we go. First one is cakes slash pie. The second one is candy. The third one is cookies.
Mhm.
The last one is ice cream. Which one are you getting rid of?
I can get rid of candy. Because I'm like a real dessert. Like I like my cakes, my pies, my cookies, my
Mhm.
brownies. I literally made cinnamon rolls last night. Like if I'm going dessert, I'm going full blown dessert. I can get rid of candy.
I'm gonna track your ass down. I promise you, when I get to New York, I'm tracking you down. If you ain't in the white pages or something, I don't
Yes,
know what's going on.
I made some maple vanilla cinnamon rolls and understand they hit on every. It was my first time making cinnamon rolls, so now I'm obsessed. It's actually a lot easier than I thought. Fresh dough, fresh icing, homemade everything. Like yeah, yeah.
So I just want to, say this for like a fun fact. Cinnamon rolls are my favorite dessert
Are
in the
they?
morning. They seriously,
Yes.
they are, no doubt. I used to always love when my mother bought the Pillsbury ones and
Oh
allowed
yeah.
me to open the icing and do the icing on them.
Yes.
And I also love, and I might get some slack for this, but I love Little Debbie honey buns. I love the
Oh,
Little
come
Debbie
on.
honey
Come on. I'm a Swiss
buns.
roll girl. Come on. You gotta have your little snacks. Gotta
Are you
have.
serious?
I'm
You
so
serious right
serious.
now?
I'm so serious.
Wow. No, seriously, like
Absolutely.
my dad who lives in New York. He actually lives in upstate New York.
Where
So
upstate?
Rochester.
Rochester. Okay, yeah, but that's not my parents are in well, they're not in Poughkeepsie, but Rochester is like literally just a drive over.
Yep. So I definitely know that. So yeah, he lives in Rochester, and the first thing he asks me two questions always. He says, "Son, when you coming up to visit me?" And I
Mm-hmm.
tell him, maybe 4th of July, maybe a little later this year. And he's like, "Okay, do you want me to get you the honey buns and the Swiss rolls?" That's the second question he always asks me. Do you want me to get the
Listen,
honey buns?
I love me some Swiss rolls. I had to put them down because when I say addiction, like all the time, every day I could eat me a Swiss roll.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
You are sounding so perfect right now. This is crazy. I'm trying to look for flaws, girl. Like, what is going on? I'm
We
trying to
all
look.
flawed to a degree. We all flawed to a degree.
You
There's
right, you
something.
right. But I'm not saying any right now. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not saying any. Okay, here we go. Do you like potato chips?
Lay's, kettle Lay's, jalapenos. Though I also had to put those down because understand I will eat them every single day. Those are my guilty pleasure. I love potato Pringles, Lay's, specifically kettle cooked though. I mean, I'll take a regular Lay's anyway, but sour
Okay,
cream and onion, cheddar and sour cream,
okay.
jalapeno. Give me all the. I love chips. I love chips.
So this is the same format. Okay, same format. I'm gonna name 4 brands.
Okay.
You got to
Okay.
choose one of these to get rid of. Okay.
All right.
So here we go. First one is Pringles.
Okay.
The second one is Ruffles. The third one is Lay's. The last one is Doritos. Which one are you getting rid of?
Ooh. I think I'll get rid of Ruffles.
Oh hell no! Now we
I
found the flaw.
we
We
found
done
a
found the flaw. We done found the flaw.
because I love Pringles. You can't just eat one.
Oh,
Doritos, those sweet chili Doritos. I also nachos, the Cool Ranch. Love those. Lay's are my favorite. So I guess, but I love
I
cheddar and
understand.
sour cream Ruffles. Those are goaded. Those are goaded.
Listen, those are my favorite ones. This is my favorite
Yeah,
chip ever. Now, let me
yeah,
ask you:
yeah.
are you a salt and vinegar person? Do you like salt and vinegar?
Absolutely, absolutely,
That explains a
absolutely,
lot. That explains a lot, Sojourner. That's why. That's why it's a
absolutely.
flaw. Damn it, we have found a flaw. We can't eat chips together.
Well, it gives them more chips for me. I say, if anything, more chips for me. Yes, that ain't no problem.
That is very true. Like I'm going to eat more Ruffles, and so
Yes.
we can turn it into a
Well, no, I
positive.
mean, no, I pass over the cheddar and sour cream now. No, pass them over, please, please. Sharing is caring.
I feel that, but you got 3 other brands. I mean, you know what I'm
But
saying?
I want a little bit of that too. I want a little bit of
Like,
that too.
okay, well, I would pass it. If you told me to pass it, I'm not gonna hesitate now.
There we
So
go.
I'm
Thank
pass
you.
it too.
Thank you.
That's for sure. Okay, I like that. You did pretty good on this or that. Obviously, now you said jalapeno kettle chips. Let me tell you
Yeah.
my story about trying kettle chips. Because to me,
Okay.
they're the third worst chip ever made. Okay, yeah. Let me tell you. Let me tell you a story.
Claws are coming out. Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Third worst chip ever made. I went to we have a place here called Tavern 507.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice spot. Went in there for lunchtime. Got me a burger. Burger looks absolutely juicy, amazing bacon cheeseburger. I was
Oh, I
like,
love
I like to have the crinkle cut fries or the curly
it.
fries, whatever fries you guys have. They said we
Mm-hmm.
don't do fries. I was like, how you don't do fries with a burger? It was like,
Yeah.
well, no, we don't do fries. We do kettle chips. I was like,
No.
okay, let me try the kettle chips then. I tried the kettle chips and spit that junk out. I hope nobody saw me spit it out. But I mean, but I spit it out. I was like, that chip is horrible. I had to eat it, which means listen,
They probably didn't season it the way it needed to be seasoned. Put a little bit of Lowry seasoned salt on top of it, and you might have actually enjoyed yourself. If you just
okay,
take the chip, kettle it up, and put it on a plate, that ain't enough. That ain't enough.
okay.
And I'm sorry, as much as I love kettle chips, that is not an adequate substitute for French fries in a burger. It's not.
It's not. Not at all. I'm a curly fry anyway. Whenever I do get a burger, I like curly fries.
Mm-hmm,
That's just
mm-hmm.
me. I don't mind the other fries. You give me that, but my preference is curly
Shoestring
fries for sure.
supremacy.
Absolutely,
Shoestring
absolutely.
supremacy.
Okay, I like that. Listen, you did very well. Like I said, you're amazing, no
Thank
question.
you. We
But
work hard and we play hard.
oh, girl, I like the way you said that. No doubt. Okay, I'm with you on that. Now, let me ask you this next question. If it
Yes.
wasn't media, okay, if it wasn't media that you were pursuing a career in and have that career, what career path would you have went down and why?
I either would have been a therapist or a guidance counselor of sorts, working
I can
with
see that.
kids. Yeah. Yeah,
I can
one
see
of the
that.
two. I was very split between psychology and journalism. And even still, my friends say all the time, they're like, "Are you going to go back to school for psychology at all? Because it's in you. It's in you." Like that, figuring out the why people do the things that they do, wanting
Mhm.
to know what makes them tick, and then also providing solutions. I'm always about how can we do and be better. And I understand traumas and things, why people are the way that they are, but we don't have to stay that way. We can
Right.
grow out of those behaviors or actions and things that we do that aren't really the best. So therapy either would have been it. But I'm very much about each one teach one. Whitney said it, the children are our future. I'm very much into pouring into the next
Mhm.
generation. And I had a lot of whether older cousins or just programs I did where I had somebody to look up to. And I feel like if the young folks have somebody to look up to see, oh, wow, it doesn't matter if they come from this or this or this, they can do this, then that kind of invigorates them and it lets them know that they can do and be anything that they want to be. So if I'm all about pouring into the next generation, making sure they feel comfortable in themselves, letting them know that the world is their oyster, they can do and be whatever they want, and fine tuning that and making sure they don't get lost in the world and they're set and secure in themselves.
Absolutely. I love that. I probably would have chose I mean I got the teaching bug, which is why I'm getting my master's. So I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
definitely do that. But theater. I'm a huge theater person.
Nice,
So
nice. Love theater. Yeah,
love plays, love musicals, acted
very
in a
much.
couple of them in high school. So yeah, huge into that for sure.
Love that. Love that very much. I should have collected playbills. If I had a playbill, if I kept the playbill for every single show I've seen, I'd
Mhm.
have a room filled. I love a good play, whether it's a play, a musical, off Broadway, on Broadway, one man band, however it is. If somebody's on a stage and they got a story to tell, I'm paying attention.
That's actually one of my things because I was gonna ask you this next question because me being there in the city for 4 straight days, I haven't. Every time I come to New York City, it's kind of a flyby type of thing. Like I
Mm-hmm,
came to New
mm-hmm,
York City a couple times on a mega bus, and then
mm-hmm.
but I had to go to a different stop to get to Union Station, which is in
Yeah.
DC,
Uh-huh.
to be able to get to where I wanted to go. But this is the first trip that I'm going to be there for consecutive days. One of my bucket list things to see a show on Broadway.
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to be able to do that. And I want to
What
ask
what
you,
kind of shows are you interested in?
oh, doesn't matter. I love art because
Yeah.
I appreciate people going up there on stage and portraying a character. It's not easy to do. And since
Not.
I've done it in high school, I can just appreciate art, no matter
Yeah.
what show it is. Now, ultimately, I would love to see maybe Raisin in the Sun.
Okay.
That play would be great. I would love to see what's the August Wilson move
Oh yes.
Fences. I wanna
Mm-hmm,
see
mm-hmm,
Fences.
mm-hmm.
But I also love to see musicals. Wicked is something that I love.
Yeah,
Hairspray,
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. So yeah, anything like that would be amazing.
You can't go wrong. My mom saw Sunset Boulevard yesterday, and that's with Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls. She's in that one.
Absolutely.
And I was like,
Mm,
Ma, how was it? She was like stupendous. She said, I need to go see that immediately. So I'm gonna go see
okay.
plans to see that. My brother and I, it's Broadway week right now. So you can get 2 for 1 tickets. So I took my
Whoa.
brother to see, we're big Harry Potter people. So I took him to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. That was phenomenal. I saw Hell's Kitchen, which is Alicia Keys' play. 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved. Gonna
Mm,
make sure I see that one again.
okay.
What's the other one? Michael Jackson on Broadway. His show is
Mm,
phenomenal. Now, if you're
yeah,
any kind of Michael Jackson fan, gotta see that. Of
I
course, you
love
got
it.
Wicked. Like there, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. They're phenomenal.
Okay. No, I like that. The 2 for 1. I hope it's that week for sure.
Yeah. Well,
No
when are you
doubt.
coming? Because it ends on the 9th.
Oh, that's why I'm coming February 19th to the
Okay.
22nd. So
Okay.
the on air fest is that Friday and that Saturday. So I will be there from that Thursday to that Sunday.
Okay,
For
okay.
sure.
But
For
you could still catch a good Sunday matinee for a pretty good
Okay.
price.
Got you. I like that. Now, I do. You said some plays, and you said with Harry Potter.
Yes.
So, fun fact before I get to the next question, I've never read or seen a Harry Potter movie. That's a flaw, isn't it? I know it is. You,
You're a
you can say
muggle.
no, but
You're a
yeah,
muggle. I should have
right,
known. You're a muggle.
right.
I understand. I
Okay,
understand.
so let me defend myself. So this is the type of man that I am, right?
Hmm.
I'm not really sci-fi. Don't get me wrong. I haven't seen Harry Potter. I haven't seen Star Wars. I never seen any of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I am willing to try new things.
Yes.
I just need the
That's
right person to break it down to me. So maybe I
yes.
need that from. Maybe I need you to do that, Jordan. If you could break
Harry
down the Harry
Potter
Potter.
is, I am a Harry Potter nerd. I'm in the Hufflepuff house. I know what my wand is. I know what my Patronus is. I know you're like, what the hell is this girl talking about? I
I
am
am. Yep.
certified Harry Potter geek all the ways. I've read all the books. I've seen all the movies. The
Okay.
Cursed Child is a play. So it was a book of a play before they turned it into a play.
Okay.
But yeah, the special effects on that show were amazing. Like they were actually doing magic up in there. It was fantastic. It was, and
Okay.
the story of it's a story about friendship. It's a story about love. It's a story about adversity. It's a story about community. Of course, right and wrong, evil and good. But oh, it is so good. It is so. And I'm not a big. I've never seen Star Wars. I've never seen any. I can't even name any of those other sci-fi things. I'm not a sci-fi girly at all. But Harry Potter is special. That is special.
Okay. Well, listen, I know you could probably talk my head off, and that's fine. Talk my head off about Harry Potter at a later date. You could probably do that for sure. I've just never read a book or seen it. I've heard about a book called Phoenix or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Harry Potter book called Phoenix or something, Rising something of
Yes.
Phoenix, I
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Mm-hmm. Order of the
But
Phoenix. Oh yeah.
see, that's all I know. That's about it.
There you
That's
go.
it.
Well, you know a little something. You know a little something.
By happen chance. That's pretty much how I know about it. I was overhearing somebody talk about it. Now,
That's all
have
right.
you been to a Comic Con? Because I'm actually going to my first
No,
one
that's the,
ever
I've
this
never
year.
been to a Comic Con, but that is something that's something I would do for the plot. Like that's something check off the bucket list because why not? Why
Absolutely.
not go to Comic Con?
Yes, I'm checking that off too because I want to at least go to one. All my friends tell me about it, but when I see the photos and pictures, I'm like, I don't know if I'm dressing up or doing
Yeah, I'm about to
anything
say
like
I
that.
don't know if I would do the full garb and the full
Right, right.
prosthetics and everything, but
I'm not
more
really
power
with
to
all
it.
that. Yeah, I'm not really with all that. Somebody showed me a grown man as a Dora Explorer. I'm like, God bless his heart, because I'm damn sure not gonna do that. That's for certain.
Can't co-sign that one. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, absolutely not. Okay, I feel you on that. We talked about advice you would give someone earlier in the conversation. What is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
What advice has someone given me?
Yeah, I like how you sat back on that and just
I
took a
have to
breath.
sit back. I have to think about
Yeah,
that one. I have to think
yeah,
about that one.
I like it. I like it.
I think it would just be, and I get this from multiple people at different points in time, reminders. I can get in my own head. I'm very much an overthinker, control freak to a degree, an over planner. I like to know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And here's plan A, here's plan B. If plan B don't work, then I have to, see it all in advance. Um, but people reminding me that I'm not God. End of the day, I can only do but so much, and I have to be okay with doing the things that are within my control and leaving the rest up to him. And
Right,
it's okay to kind of release some of that control. And on top of that, do I not know who my God is? So anytime that I'm doubtful, anytime that I'm fearful of something,
mhm,
remembering who God is and how he's shown up for me and just in general, and not letting my own fears or my own doubts and insecurities get in the way. Anytime somebody reminds me, like, and they just say, like, do you not know who God is? I'm like, you
right,
right, you right,
right,
you right. And that just kind of snaps me back into reality whenever I'm having those moments of, oh, I don't know, oh, this isn't going the way I want it to go. No, you're not God. So like release that control, trust in his
right.
plan, trust in his timing, but also don't ever think that my doubts and my fears and insecurities are bigger than anything that he can do, because it's not.
I love it. No, I do because I talk to a lot of people and I have friends all over, in the places that I've lived. And a lot of my friends sometimes I always say, always ask them like, so, I don't live in chaos either. It's hard to
Mhm.
live in chaos, right?
It is.
I'm
It
a,
is.
I'm a structured person. I like to plan stuff,
Yeah.
but I always ask them this question: how comfortable are you being uncomfortable? I always like to ask that question to people, and my friends tell me, "Well, what do you mean by that?" Well, I mean like I thrive off my life on that. I'm a very laid back person. I'm a very perspective type of person, and I like to be able to talk to people and see how they feel. It's not to be judgmental, but it's just to
Right.
hear you and listen. It's to be an outlet so you can pour yourself into me, so
Hmm.
you can be
Hmm.
able to release some of that frustration, release some of that. And I don't want to be judgmental. I just want to listen to you
Yeah.
and let you know that I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. Or if you want advice, I can definitely do that. But I tell my kids this too when I substitute teach. In life, things are not always going to be comfortable. The situations, jobs, people, you're going to run into people in jobs and places that's not going to make you comfortable. But the
Yeah.
main thing that you got to do is you got to turn that uncomfortable situation into a comfort for yourself because it
Yes. Yeah.
really hardens your character. It really
Hmm.
hardens who you are. And it
Yeah.
allows you to understand to deal with difficult things because, you know, we all know that difficult things they're inevitable, right? If I believe the book of Hebrews talks about that. It talks about inevitability of hardship and adversity. And
Hmm.
that's the
Hmm.
things that we have to deal with as people in the universe. So I love that you said that. I love when people say, "Okay, you snap it right there," but it's a natural instinct to when
Absolutely.
people throw monkeys in your wrench and you're planning out things and you
And
always have to go
I
off
tell people,
course.
don't jam my Glock now. Don't jam my Glock.
Right,
I need it to be
right.
smooth. I need it to work.
Mhm. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful when that does happen because then now you see like, okay, can I deal with this? Am I okay with this? Am I gonna be all right that something went off course
Right.
and can we get it back on the course? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people, most people tell me all the time, it's like, Chris, why you stay so calm, cool, and collected through problems? Because ultimately, solutions is what we want.
Hmm. Hmm.
Solutions is what is going to be presented. Now, it
Yeah.
may not be the best solution that you want or the most
May
favorable
not be
one,
the exactly. Yep. Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it's a solution because you have to understand that, we don't work on our own time. We work on the Lord's time. And the Lord is going to provide us the best solution when He feels that He wants to give us the best solution, not with
That's it.
us, not
That's
to
it.
you.
And like I said, and I just have to trust that he,
Absolutely.
even if it's something that I don't like or I don't understand, it's for
Mhm.
my greater good. Or even if it's not for my greater good, even stepping outside of myself. Because I think I used to be a very ego driven person. So it was me, me, me. What am I getting from this? What am I supposed to do in this? Sometimes it's just about how am I going to be a blessing unto somebody else? I may not get
Absolutely.
anything out of the situation. I may be a secondary character in the situation, but I am here to fuel and pour into somebody else. And that's okay too. So just
I
because things
love it.
aren't going my way, there's still a larger and grander reason for things happening the way that they do. And I just have to trust that it's all working in his plan.
Absolutely. I love that. I want to ask this top four question. What is the top four as far as people that you would like to interview as an on-air host?
Ooh. Kiki Palmer, because I just feel like we would have a time. I don't know how much of an interview it would be. I feel like we just get to cutting up and cracking
Mhm.
jokes. We very much have a similar vibe, and that would be an amazing interview. She's somebody who I look up to career wise. I've been watching her for, as long as I can remember. So
Mhm.
definitely someone like Kiki Palmer. I would
Okay.
also have to say Kanye
Okay.
because
He'd
I'm
be interesting for sure.
yeah, I am just so interested in digging into his mind. I have so many questions for him in terms of who, and I mean, we know a lot about him. We know a lot about why he is the way he is and whatnot. But I just want to get a glimpse into what his mind got going on and how he comes to the places that he comes. So I would love to pick his brain. Um, Michelle Obama as well. There's been a
Without
lot
question.
of talk. I mean, I've seen reports of her and Barack being separated. I've heard that Barack is dating Jennifer Aniston. I've heard, people are saying Michelle she's checked out. She don't want it. And I think she is checked out from her political stand, and she did her job. She served as first lady for 8 years. She did what she's supposed to do, and now she's just trying to get back to her life. But I know that woman has seen and heard so much, and I was so interested to know how she grappled with being in that limelight as the first lady for 8 years, especially being a Black woman, a thorough Black woman through and through. How did it feel? Like, how did you keep a smile on your face despite all the adversity that was thrown to you? Like, even now, like, people are still picking apart everything that she can't not go somewhere and it's making headline news. Like, just so how do you maintain, and how do you maintain with such grace? I have so many questions for her. So that's Kiki, Kanye, Michelle, and Beyonce, just because that's greatness. That is greatness. And she doesn't do as many interviews as she used to in the past. She's become very private, and I think she's just letting the work speak for herself. But that would just be, I want to know more about Beyonce the person. She's done all the interviews about her artistry and who she is as a performer, but just Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter, like, when you wake up in the morning, I know you're kissing your babies, but like, what do you do? What do you watch? What kind of work? Like, I just, as a person, as a human, who are you, Beyonce? Take away all the accolades, take away your gifts and the talent. Just as a human in your core, what makes you cry? What makes you tick? What makes you excited about life? I just want to know more about her as a person.
That's a hell of a lineup. That is definitely a hell of a lineup. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Those would be
Listen, we're
gold.
gonna
Those would
speak
be
it
gold.
into existence. You are going to
it's in
do this.
there, Lord, from my mouth to your ears. Yes.
Absolutely, no doubt. I love that. We are coming close to the end of the podcast. So what I want to do is some rapid fire questions. So first thing that comes to your mind, you just blurt it out with glee. Okay. So for the last time, Sojourner, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I'm whatever comes to mind, I'm gonna just say it.
Just say it, girl. Say it with pride. Here we go.
All right.
Burgers or tacos?
Tacos.
Okay. Chicken or ribs?
Chicken.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Okay. Favorite color?
Pink.
Okay. Favorite TV show or Netflix series?
Ooh, that's asking your favorite child. Right now I'm gonna say Love Island.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, favorite alcoholic drink?
Hennessy.
Oh my gosh, yes indeed. I'm with you on that. Okay, favorite sandwich?
Ooh, I'm a sandwich girl. There's so many different types. I'm thinking my mind, because I'm craving it. My mind went to a Jersey Mike sub.
Ain't nothing like Jersey Mike's. I
love a good Jersey Mike sub. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Favorite board game?
Candyland.
Okay. Favorite card game?
Oh, that's not cards. I was gonna say Taboo, but that's not cards at all. I'll go spades.
You know how to play some spades?
Yes. I hesitate because I don't do the math. Don't get me the line on doing the math on the side. I just know we got these books to catch, and we're gonna go ahead and get these books.
Okay, now I'm trying to tell you, like I'm BTA when it comes to spades. Now you know what BTA is.
No reading on this side, okay? No reading on this side.
Okay, hold on. Do you play A side or joke deuce deuce?
Joke deuce deuce.
Say less. You good with me, girl? Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Okay, if you had a choice to bring 3 people with you on a vacation, so 3 plus 1 equaling 4, who would those 3 people be? And where would you go? Now you can choose family, friends, or celebrities.
I'm gonna go celebrity just because I have so many different I love traveling with my family. We do it often, and I have different travel groups within my friends, and I can't pick one over the other. So celebrities, I would love to travel with Rihanna, Kiki Palmer, and give me Coco Jones.
Okay, and where would y'all go?
We're going to Antigua just because I've never been and I've always wanted to go, and I need my girls on an island.
I know that's right. Y'all are gonna be the baddest sisters on the
I know that's
planet.
right. I know that's right.
Lord,
Hello.
Lord have
Yeah.
mercy.
Put that
That is
island
quite the
down.
swallow. Whew. Okay. Let me move on to the next question. I can't think about that too much now. All right. So, if you had a choice of picking three artists or three songs that you can listen to on repeat and never get tired of, who would those three songs or three artists be?
I'm gonna have to
Mm,
go artists. I'm gonna have to
okay.
go artists.
Okay.
Beyonce,
Okay.
Michael Jackson,
MJ.
and I'll throw in a current one, Lucky Day.
Okay. I would definitely go artist too. I would definitely pick Kanye. I would definitely pick Prince.
Mm,
And then my last one that I would probably choose is Lauryn Hill. I'm a
mm.
huge Lauryn Hill fan.
I'm
I
gonna
love
say,
Lauryn.
I'll show you some more flaws. I'm not a Prince or Lauryn Hill fan. I'm not.
Well, listen. Here's what you're establishing to me. Okay, you're hardworking. You're very, very beautiful, very articulate, but you just don't have good goddamn taste when it comes to
That,
music
that,
or
that
chicks.
and, and you know that's where I gotta put my foot down because I think Lauren is underrated, overrated. If I'm being honest, I do.
Okay.
The
Okay.
album was great, but it ain't enough. It ain't
I
enough,
feel
babe.
you.
And
Okay.
then the way you show up nowadays, you don't. I mean, hey, I give grace to her because I know that there was workings
Mhm.
with the industry and she doesn't have the rights to the songs the way that she used to, so she can't sing them the way that she used to. I totally do
I
understand.
will give you that. I will
Yeah,
give you that.
yeah.
She does show up late to
If
shows.
a show starts at 7, how dare you show up at 9:30? That's
I
that
feel that.
I'm not with that. So Lauren, I do think is as talented as she is, I do think she's a bit overrated.
Right.
And then just we were a Michael Jackson household. I don't think my parents disliked Prince. I think they just didn't listen to Prince that much. And
Mhm.
music typically starts with the parents in the household, and we were just Michael, 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 Michael. So I can probably name 3 Prince songs, maybe. I
Yeah.
not even really can't. We were just Michael down. We were Michael down.
See, that would be a good thing though, because you bring in one set, and which I love all your artists that you're talking about, and I'm bringing
Mhm.
another set.
There
Yeah.
you
So
go.
there's no question.
A
No
diversity of
question.
talent right there. Yes, yes.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So I want to ask this: if they came to you and said, "Sojourner, you're only going to do one of these for the rest of your career," that is, be an on-air host or be a producer, which one would you choose?
On air. On air.
On air. Okay. Now let me ask you this last.
I like to talk too much.
I love it, and I love that. I really do. Let me ask you this last rapid fire question. How long, if you had an on-air show for like on-air radio or broadcast, whatever, how long of a show would you want to have? Would you want to do it radio style, have like 4 hours, or would you want to have like a talk show style, having an hour?
I'd probably do talk show style. And that's kind of what I'm developing now. I've done the live on air shows, I've had live radio shows, I had a podcast where we can kind of, there is no limit with time. But just noting people's attention spans and for the sake of consistency, I think a good hour slot is you can't go wrong with it. People know what they're getting in that hour. They know the next time they can carve out a good hour to listen to it if they have it. So I think I would go a good solid talk hour.
I like that. I do. Man, Sojourner, this has been an absolute pleasure talking to
Yes,
you.
it
You are
has.
so wonderful in so many
Thank you
different
so
ways.
much.
I'm sure your friends tell you that all the time as they
Yes, but no,
absolutely school
I
you.
especially from people who are just getting to know me. Anytime I like
Yeah.
to, whenever people who don't know me that well can still see the gifts and the light that God has given me and they can champion them, that's just more validation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so, yes, it's
Absolutely.
amazing to hear from people that know me and that have seen me in the passions. But for people who were just meeting me to also see that, if anything, it makes it even more special. So I'm honored and I thank you for reaching out and I thank you for seeing me and my page and saying that's somebody I want to talk to. And like you said, it's very rare that I get to sit and talk about myself. I'm usually doing the interviewing, I'm doing the asking of the questions. And so that ego part of me is like, oh, I got time to sit and talk about myself. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about me. So I
Absolutely.
thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well worth it. No question about it. Keep doing amazing things in this industry like I know you will. I always ask this last question, Sojourner, and that is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
Anything else I want to add? Well, stay tuned for my show. Stay tuned for my show. I think it's time that I, again, get out of my own way and let my fears and insecurities just kind of cease and I step into my power. Everything does
Yeah.
not have to be perfect and polished. It just has to be me and authentically me. And I think that there will be greatness that comes from that. There's room for growth over time. I have a community, I have resources, I have like-minded individuals that I can lean on and that I can kind of do these things with.
Yeah.
So just learning to lean on others and get out of my own way and just go forth and be great. And I'm charging myself to do that this year. So stay tuned because more is coming.
I like to hear that. I would definitely support it by watching it, listening to it. I will also support it if you want to have me on as a guest as
Oh,
well. That'd be great.
we're gonna have to do this again, but in my style, in my
I
style.
feel you. I feel you on that, no doubt. I want you to enjoy the rest of your Thursday and your weekend, and we will definitely be in touch. You take care.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you so much, and you take care. Bye-bye.